Yeah, well, Arthur, dramatic way to win it in the end. Could you just describe your angle and what you're thinking when Grimmer winds up from range?
Yeah, at first I'm thinking, get it in, stick it in the mixer there, and let's try get on the end of one for once. But one smells it there, and they have the freedom to go outside the script when it comes to some set pieces. So he's gone over there quickly to take it. He can smell it, he can feel it, and and then Matty does his business, which was a fantastic strike.
So that's not something you've worked on at the training track. That's just Juan and Denny and Matt just improvising in the moment.
Yeah, they've always got the freedom and the luxury to play what they see. Obviously, you have your set plays, but if something's not going to script and you can see something and you feel it, we always encourage them to play what they feel, and he's done that, and there's a reward at the end of it.
And I guess you were sitting here last week and you told us again during the week that last week's win meant nothing if you didn't come here tonight and get another win. Now that you have 2 wins on the bounce, just how are you feeling? How can you build on this now moving forward?
Look, there's a lot we've got to look at from tonight. In terms of the performance, it wasn't a polished performance from a football point of view, that's for sure. It was, for me, it's still fresh, but I think it was a typical derby where even at 0-0, it was a lot of action. There was a lot of chances and half chances. There was a lot of goalmouth action. So it was 2 teams going for it. Not outstanding football from us anyway. I'm not going to talk about the opposition, but yeah, we weren't outstanding in terms of the way we wanted to play, but we worked really hard. We were resilient. We had a top mentality, and to keep a clean sheet and then get one in the end, that shows a super mentality, and I'm really proud of that.
Double checking that, you said it was Juan that came up with the idea to just go, let's go short, let's create something. I think he said he sort of smelt it.
Yeah, that's why we position players on the edge of the box there as well, so if I see it, it's an option. But yeah, in the end, it's a second phase pretty much of a set piece, and we haven't scored one for a while. Or maybe it's a first set piece. Well, it's not really a set piece, but we'll take it as a set piece just to help the stats. But yeah, look, anyway, when it's a derby like that, the result is really important because, one, your fans are due for one. 2, we haven't had a good success rate in the last few derbies, and we're aware of that. And 3, it's send everyone home with a beautiful Christmas, and hopefully our fans enjoy Christmas off the back of that.
A few big names in the crowd. Did you know Ange, Muskie, those types were going to be here?
No, I didn't. It was beautiful to see them actually in a change room after the match. Ange and Muskie and some Hollywood celebrities as well, which is fantastic. It just added to the occasion, to be fair. But in the end, it's a great day for football. It was a good crowd out there tonight, and it's something that I think the game needs to celebrate. Leading into Christmas, a good crowd, good end-to-end game, and in the end, really, really proud that we got the result.
It seemed like City probably had the sway of just general play tonight, but were you pleased with the fact that you still were able to maintain that attacking intent? I think you ended actually with more shots on goal than City tonight.
Yeah, we knew we had to try and stop them from playing through us. They're a good side. They're a very good side, and they were good tonight as well. But in the end, today we gave up a little bit of possession and tried to stay in control without the ball. And that was important that we can do that, because if we do that, once you win the ball and break on them, you got a chance to create chances. And I think we still had some great chances to score, although we didn't have a lot of possession. We had good chances, and that's important. So, sometimes you want to be fluent with the ball and dominate possession and dominate territory. Tonight probably wasn't one of those nights, but in the end, I think we were quite efficient in terms of when we got to the box, we were dangerous.
It's quite a bit of a physical contest now as well. A few refereeing decisions might have been a bit eyebrow raising. How did you sort of see the performance of the ref tonight?
Yeah, look, it's always hard to ref a derby. It was physical out there. He tried to probably let it flow as much as possible. In the end, every coach is going to be upset with some decisions, and he's a man for big occasions. He loves those games. So in the end, the ref hasn't made a decision that's impacted the outcome of the game. He's done his best. Both teams fought really hard, and that's the game.
Just on Nikos, after he scored those 2 last week, it looks like he's got his mojo back. Some of those, he looked really dangerous tonight in some moments tonight. How do you sort of see how he's going now? Yeah,
Nico needed those goals for his confidence, because in the end, a striker, they live and breathe off goals, and it was important that he got that last week. And tonight it didn't fall for him, but he was in a position to score quite often, so that's encouraging. He's probably could have had 1 or 2 in the first half. But in the end, he's come off with cramps, because that's what happens when, you don't start for 3 or 4 weeks. You lose that match fitness slightly. And in a derby, the tempo is much higher, the pace is much higher. And, in the end, he's got through 70-odd minutes, I think. And, he's put in a good shift.
Arthur, going back to something else you told us a few weeks ago, you told us these games against Adelaide City, no better fixtures to turn the season around than these two. And now you look 6 points, you're level on points with sixth place MacArthur, so you're level on points with the top 6 again. And you've always talked about how you felt the wheel would turn, you were doing the right things, results would come. Do you feel like the wheel is now turning and this can be a turning point?
Yeah, it's all about momentum, and that's the important part is that, one, you build resilience during tough times. Sometimes for the players, it's hard to keep going and staying positive, because in the end, we as coaches and the staff, we believe, we never stop believing. And for them, sometimes a result can just add to their belief even more. And that's what last week did. It just lifted them up. And they come here tonight, they fought really hard. They've backed it up. It's exactly what we asked for. And now you've got to keep going. Now you've got to build on momentum. Now you've got to keep going. And, it's a really tight competition. We don't look too far ahead. And we just got to do our job every week. We've got to turn up, perform, and be the best version of ourselves, individually first, because they know if they're the best version of themselves individually, then the collective's going to be stronger. So as long as they have that mentality that they want to be the best that they can every game and the best they can every day at training, then, success is always around the corner.
How do you maintain that momentum now with a bit of a break? Obviously, you get a rest, you can get some work in, but how do you maintain that to make sure you kick on after Christmas? Yeah,
it's important that we recover well. It's a 9-day turnaround, so fortunately they get Christmas Day off so they can have Christmas with family, which is always nice, because with our schedule here in Australia, sometimes you don't have that luxury. So it's a nice opportunity to have a day with family, those that have their family close by here. So in the end, there's a few days before the break that they have to turn up and prepare again for Wellington. Then you get Christmas with your family. You can switch off for 24 hours, and then you've got to be back on, razor sharp vision and ready for Wellington back here at home.
Does that longer break give you a chance to get anyone back, a Reno or a Francolina or any of them?
No, it's still too short for that. There's still a few weeks away. I hope early in the new year or mid-Jan that those boys can join the team. But yeah, most important is that everyone comes away tonight unscathed in terms of injury. They enjoy the night because they've earned that, and they get ready come Monday to get back on that horse and keep going.
How pleasing was it for Matt Grimaldi to be the winner? Obviously, he had such a difficult off-season with the Western United thing, and now to score that one.
Really pleased for Matty. It's difficult when you start the first 5-6 odd games and then I'll make a decision to rotate and put someone else in. And it's not easy for a player that has to do that, sit on the bench. But there's only one way to turn it around. That's do what he did tonight. He's always trained really well, which is fantastic. He's always had a fantastic attitude, great determination, and it's important for him that he scores that goal in front of our fans, so he knows what this club means, what those fans are. And you saw him celebrate, and seeing him celebrate like that, for me, gives me goosebumps, and it's really important. I'm really happy for Matty, and more happy for the fans.
Looking at the celebrations from that goal, Jura was up and about as well, and obviously he was with Matty last season at Western. Did it mean something special for him as well? Yeah,
of course. They've got a relationship that goes a little bit deeper than mine, that's for sure. But yeah, I think Jura was just happy with the result. Add that it's his protege there from where he was previously. But in the end, it's a happy night for everybody. So
just a word on Jack Duncan. Felt like he was crucial. I think both goalkeepers had big moments.
Yes, Jack was excellent. I think he's made 2 or 3 probably game-changing saves to keep us in the game, keep us with a clean sheet. But in the end, that's what he gets paid to do. He's done his job, and I'm really happy for Jack.
I know you mentioned cramps for a few of the guys, but is everyone okay? I know Nish had the sort of stinger in his shoulder and that sort of thing.
Yeah, Nish just fell awkwardly in that challenge, but apart from that, no, he's fine. Nico's cramps, and I don't know anything else at the moment. I haven't seen the players yet or the medical staff, but to my knowledge, I think everyone else should be fine.
You mentioned that it was a surprise for you to walk into the dressing room and see Muskie and Ange Postecoglou. How did some of the players react, maybe some of the younger boys particularly? Well,
I didn't see their reaction because obviously the change rooms are split. So I saw them first. I was just happy to see them because in the end, they're first and foremost, they're incredible human beings. They're fantastic coaches, and they've represented this club and been very successful with this club. So just to have them in our change rooms and in our presence, is fantastic for our club, fantastic for me and my staff, and hopefully the players appreciate that as well.